Welcome to Challenge 11 of the 30-Day Challenge, and I'm so pleased that you're here. And the focus of the next couple of minutes is how to give feedback without tears. Now, we know that feedback is a vital leadership behavior and a vital leadership skill, but yet why do we find it so difficult? A couple of months ago, in one of my coaching conversations, one of my coaching clients shared their personal experience of having a team member who they felt was not delivering quality work. Apparently their attention to detail was poor, their outcome was poor, they weren't checking the quality of their own work. And so the impact that it was having on this particular leader is that they were working weekends and late into the evening to compensate for this team member. So I asked this particular leader, have you given this individual feedback? And he looked at me and said, no. And I asked, well, why not? And he said, well, because I have to work with this individual on a day-to-day basis. And if I demotivate them, I will get even less performance from them. So that stayed in my memory just in terms of how we can rationalize the reasons why not to give feedback. So if you are to give effective feedback, here are some practical things that you can think about. So the first is, what is your intention here? Is your intention to prove that you are right? Is your intention here to tell the individual how poorly they're performing? Is your intention to actually be helpful? Is your intention to get the individual back on track again? Because that matters. And so the key here really is never give feedback when you are angry or annoyed, because the feedback always comes out as an opinion and subjective rather than objective. So that's the first thing. What's your intention? The second thing is focus on the outcome that you want. What does good look like in a month's time or 2 months' time? What are the few behavioral changes you are looking for that would make the biggest difference? Now, in this particular individual's case, line manager's case, what they're really looking for is for this individual to pay attention to detail, to get the small things right, to double check their own work. Now, that is honest feedback. It's not subjective, it's not opinion, and the individual might actually be very grateful for receiving this feedback. But the final element of giving feedback without tears is actually seeking the other person's perspective first. Because by and large, individuals know if they are performing optimally or not. And by actually asking that question, they may give you some insights that you were not aware of, or they may give you some data, or they may give you some information that you can build your feedback on. So rather than you being the person that initiates and says, let me give you feedback, often a much more effective way of starting is to ask your team member, could you give me your honest assessment of where you think you've done well over the last couple of weeks and months, and what are the few things that you believe you could improve? And that's a much more viable way of starting a feedback conversation. So I'm going to leave you with this final thought that with any feedback, it's all in the planning and the preparation, both in terms of your planning, but also helping your team member or the person that you're going to be giving feedback to also come along with to the meeting or that conversation, having done some preparation or having sought some feedback from their colleagues and their peers. So thank you. Thanks for engaging, and I will see you on Challenge 12.